Come on, everybody, let's start the show. A quick ahoy hoy and away we'll go. Richard's got a minifig and Flynn's got a pin. The gang's all here and it's time to begin. Tricky Bricks roll call. Moto, Holly, Kara, and sometimes Blair, Clicky, Logan, Ms. Thing and Angela, and Thunderman Ho! Now you're here to grab your bricks and let's go to the Tricky Bricks Build and Check Show!
Yeeks. We're here. We're just hiding behind this there
This placard.
Oh my god,
That
friends.
was a very few minutes.
That was a very few minutes.
See, now everyone knows they're here.
Thank goodness, because I know you wouldn't know otherwise. But hi, everyone. It's Sunday.
I think gnomes put their thumbs all over my glasses last night.
Maybe we should fingerprint them and see if we can figure out what they are.
Find the right gnome.
I
actually can't even see right now. I'm going to get some glasses cleaners.
Oh, okay. Please do. Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a good Sunday so far. It is a well, it's kind of an overcast Sunday, which is great because it's been really, 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 really hot. Maybe not hot as some places, but hot enough, I gotta say, that it's been like it's been difficult in the house because it's been so hot.
It's true.
But we still managed to get a ton of stuff done.
Yep.
On our piece from for Lego House, which we're actually going to give a little kind of like fly through today in a little bit. So we'll be able to we'll be checking that out.
Not only did we build yesterday, we had a really good build session. And then we were like, we're kind of done. We're going to go sit on the couch. And then we got excited about minifigs.
Oh my God. We were back to our whole, we finally gotten back to our whole 9-hour building days. We were on it all day yesterday and it was great. It was a really good sort of jump on it and get it done type of deal.
Well, there's a certain amount of grinding with this piece too, right? Kind of. Just like rock.
I can't tell you, I've done so many rocks. I've built so many rocks in the past 3 months, a ridiculous amount of rocks. But hey, you gotta set the stage before you can put the actors on it, right?
That's the part.
But sometimes, you got to have the actors in for an early rehearsal so that you know what it's going to look like when it's all, when it's all said and done. But anyway. We'll be taking a look at that here in a little bit. But oh my goodness.
Am I sure these aren't the right glasses is also why they're not working.
Grandpas have a lot of glasses issues, as you can tell.
There. Oh, look. Hi everyone. It's so nice to see you.
I think we both made a mistake by getting matching glasses for the monitor that we have for regular glasses, because I always get them mixed up. Anyway. Yeah, we do have to get our rocks on. It's true. Blair, are you going to be joining us today? It'd be awesome to see you. Goodness. So it looks like everybody's popping on and saying hello. Now, I am going to invite on. Right now there's only one person in the green room, so
it's
I'm
true.
Going to invite her on. I will say we don't have a Moto today. Now watch, the numbers will plummet. We don't have Moto today.
No Moto. I'm out.
I am out. I'm out too. No Moto today because he is preparing for Brick World Chicago, which is next weekend, and we are the only Lego Masters who aren't going.
I think the entire galaxy is going to Brick World Chicago.
There's a lot of people going to Brick World. We just we have other commitments, including,
and we get to go to Austin.
Yeah, and we go to Bricks by the Bay the week after, and then we've got Austin, the week after that.
I know, it would have been right in a row.
3 cons in a row. I can't. My constitution will just not. I will not hold up. I can tell you that right now. All right, let's see. So okay. Oh, now we have 2 people in the green room. Very good. All right.
Why don't we say hi to them?
Why don't we say hi first from across the bay? It is the delightful Minifigchick. Hi, Cara.
Ahoy,
Hey,
hoy.
Cara.
How are
Where
you
it has
today?
not been hot. It's been delightful.
Oh,
What,
that's because you have a wonderful beach estate.
Well, yeah, you're in San Francisco
Yes.
where it stays relatively
State.
cool. It's been in the 90s here in Oakland, so I
Ooh.
would that hasn't been delightful. And if you
No.
know anything, you out in the audience know anything about houses in California, they were not made with insulation, at least the old ones like we live in.
Or air
And
conditioning.
they were not ready for, climate change. So it gets so hot in our apartment, just saying. Anyway,
From a little further north.
from the Pacific Northwest, gracing us with her presence today, it's Holly. Hi, Holly.
Ahoy,
Holly.
hi everyone. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
How
You
are
forgot.
you?
You forgot, actually. It would have been like, what, 4 cons, including Star Wars Celebration?
Oh, you're
Oh,
right.
yeah.
You're right. It would have been 4. I mean,
That
not
would have been
thankfully
crazy.
not in a row. There, I would have gotten
Right.
a break, but still, like
Not much of
yeah.
one, though, because I still feel like I got my fill. Like, I'm not missing out on Brick World right now. I'm happy to not be at a con
It would
right
have been
now.
too much for me right now.
Well, and we're not spring chickens anymore. I'm just saying, like we got some, we're not quite as lively all day as we used
Well,
to be.
also, you've, like, done the circuit more than a couple of times. Like, that's the thing. There's a big difference even when I did a bunch of cons, like, back to back to back,
Mhm.
a few years ago. Like, I kind of got my fill in 1 to 2 years, and now it's like 2 cons a year is great for me,
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not a celebrity, so
Oh no, no, I don't buy into that. Sorry, no celebrities here, just friends.
right, exactly.
All right. Well, hey, why don't we do pins? I'm very excited for mine today.
Cara, it's funny. I mentioned your palatial beach estate.
Yes.
So I'm working on a new project where I'm in construction meetings like every week with the whole team, the architect and the electricians and all that. And these people had these amazing apartments. I couldn't believe these like huge spacious lofts until I realized that we're using Microsoft Teams and you can change your blurry background into a fabulous loft. And they're just sitting there with backgrounds on.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my
It's,
goodness.
you got to live the life.
I was like,
best
wow,
you
maybe
can.
I should be an electrician.
Oh, it's Lisa Head's birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
Lisa.
birthday.
Hey.
Happy birthday. Oh, and it looks like Moto popped in for a
Notice in
little
the chat.
ahoy hoy in the chat.
Hey,
Oh my
Moto.
goodness, so nice. All right, so
Moto will like these. I mean, I don't know if this is the same for everybody else, but
wanna
I'm
go
sorting
first,
right
Holly?
now. These were on our pick a brick wall.
Oh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Is that like a medical chart? What is
a
it?
calculator?
Yeah, it kind of looks like. I mean, I guess it could be anything really, because it's just like looks more like a register thing, like where you would insert a card and then there's a little like Wi-Fi symbol
Oh,
there.
got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm all about Lego machine interfaces.
I know,
Oh, and-
right? Those
Oh, and a
cool?
big happy birthday to Fourth World Adam, whose birthday it is tomorrow.
Adam,
That's
happy
Adam.
birthday.
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody would need, like a full cup of these, but I did grab a few. I just thought it was cool that those were on there.
Yeah, Moto
Well,
said,
if you end up with one left, I would be happy for one of them.
Went with tiles instead. I mean, for, again, for filling a cup, that's probably a good choice. You didn't grab any though, really? Like not even a couple?
not even just one?
Yeah.
Like one single one?
Yeah. See,
No,
I do parfait style.
That's
Sorry.
very
Yeah, I like
Yep.
that.
that's very on brand for Moto. He is singularly focused. I have to
True.
say.
That's true.
Don't
All or
shake
nothing,
the
right?
buffet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just don't shake it before you break it or make it.
What?
Shake it before you make it. I don't know.
I felt one of the first times I went to the Lego store, I felt so much like I was getting away with something because they offered to tape the lid closed.
I don't even bother anymore. I don't even bother. Yeah. I actually, you know what though? Like, I still do pack them pretty like perfectly. Like this one, actually, I did manage to get the lid on, but I was also getting a lot of small pieces. When you're getting like, a whole bunch of these or something. Sometimes the stuff
Right.
just doesn't
Yeah.
really pack in there very well, and I'll just
Yeah.
go in there like it's close enough, right?
All right, it is pin time, friends.
All right.
Kara, what have you got for us?
Well, since it is June here in the Bay Area,
Yay!
generally speaking,
Month.
Pride Month.
And by the way, we will be doing our Pride show next Sunday.
Ooh,
Very excited about that.
straight from Austin? Oh no, next
Um,
Sunday.
Never straight, dear. Gaily forward.
And
No,
it's not even next Sunday. No, that's 2 weeks
Austin's
away.
not
Okay.
until the end of the month. Anyway, Holly.
All right. Well, now I feel like a moron because I had the opportunity to pick up a little Pride stitch pin that Vincent really wanted. But at that point, we had already bought so many pins that I had to deny the request because I'd gotten this one instead, which is the Robin
the
Hood.
Robin Hood
Pretty
one.
fun.
It's so good.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
so I
there
had
are zillions of pins. You have to set limits.
Yeah.
I know, right? Like, and yeah, and it was really cute, but it was like I literally had already bought like 5 pins, and then he's like, "How about this one?" I was like, "I just bought a bunch of pins." So, yeah, it was a good one though. It was
the
really cute.
chartreuse color. They're $400 each.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've got okay, so actually we're gonna show ours now, and then it's gonna be time to say hi to everybody in the chat. So make sure and pop in, say hello, so we know who to say hi to. All right, are you ready for yours?
I am.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get okay, you ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Here, I'll do it this way.
Ooh, there.
Yay,
NASA
nice.
Ames Research Center, established 1939. Our friends at the Ames Research Center. Very nice. And I have one that I got just as we were about to leave our little trip to Disneyland. I was very excited. This is pretty much the only thing I bought when we were there. I got Richard a hat, but other than that, hat
Yep.
box ghost.
Good.
So if you don't know the Hatbox Ghost is kind of legendary. It was like an effect that they tried to pull off early on in the development of the Haunted Mansion, and they couldn't get it to work right, and then they never did. And then this rumor started that there was it had been in the ride and then taken out, but I don't know that. I think that might be apocryphal. But then,
but his head appears in the hat box.
But yeah,
right?
so his head disappears off his neck and then appears in the hat box, and then eventually they actually put it in many years later, and it's only been, I think it's only been back for what, like less than 10 years, probably. I'm not sure, but
Something like that.
I don't know. We got to see it though.
Yeah,
we got to
it's a
see it.
great
It's true.
effect.
So
yeah,
very
apparently
fun.
it was a really big deal for Flynn that we got to go on the haunted house ride together.
It's true. It was a rite of passage for our friendship.
Well, we never get to see it when it's in its normal
Well,
form.
and that's the other thing too. We always end up going in January around Bricks LA, and then it's still decorated for Christmas with the Nightmare Before Christmas decorations, which I don't hate, but it's not the original. There's something about the Haunted Mansion in its original form that is absolutely amazing.
Hi, Rita. Welcome.
All right, well, let's see who is here. Who's here? Who's chatting? Who's talking? Who is here? Well, we got a lot of people. We got Fourth World Adam is here today. Brickaroo Bonsai, Brickham's Den, Chris the Grand Inquisitor, and First Son Jay Chalice. I get that one. Darren Siegfried is here. David Wilkie, Gergonzola, Heather Miraz, Holly is here. Hooded One, John Luttrell, and Vicky. Hello. Oh, speaking of, we need our coffee.
I know. We need.
I'm
going to go make
coffee.
it.
Catherine Harmon is here. Lego Don, and I guess Phil too. Hello. Lisa Head,
Hey,
the birthday
Lisa.
girl. Marilyn
Marilyn
Parmley, kicking off the Emscapades. We also have Matthew Builds Bricks, Minifigchick, Monica Berry, and Moto, who I'm thankful stuck around long enough for us to get him in the Emscapades, because that is how it finishes. We've got Rita Carre. We've got Sam Harmon, Victorious Brickstress, Bonsoir Wilfred, who hopefully we will be seeing in just a few months.
That would be so exciting.
And
Zissou?
Zissou. Good to see you.
Oh, Zissou, it says
It
right
says
there.
right
It's
there,
pronounced
yes.
right there.
And of course, hello to Zerakino Kim, wherever
Ever
you may be. We
be.
miss you and
Ooh.
love you. You did. I'm impressed.
Okay, I'm gonna go put the coffee on. I'll be right back.
I love that story. Hey, Jesse's Brick Galaxy, how's it going? Good to see you.
Hey,
So gosh, it's gonna be a big next few weeks for cons, 3 in a row, like we were talking about earlier. Brick World Chicago next weekend during our Pride show. That's fine. We've got the Bricks by the Bay the week after that, and then Brick Rodeo in Texas the week after that. So it's going to be a lot of Lego Con madness. I expect to see tons of photos. Now, what other cons are y'all going to for the rest of the year? We're going Bricks by the Bay, Brick Rodeo, and then Scareback weekend. That's kind of our route for the next few months. What about y'all?
Yeah, it's a light year for me for sure. So I've already done, Bricks Cascade, and then Scarebucks is the other big one, and the only other one that would really even be conceivable for me would be Brick Con, but there's really no way for that to happen because that's the following weekend after Scarebucks. So
yeah, we're not even going to be in the country.
Right.
That's when we'll be doing our little European tour, like probably the beginning of October, right? Because
right, exactly.
Because Scareback is like the very end of September. But anyway, should be fun. I'm
already capped out on my vacation time. It's not happening this year. The only way I was able to do it, like 2018 was the big year for me that I tried to do like all the cons that I could, and it's only because I was between films, like that was in between.
Right.
I think the end of Missing Link and before our next one. So yeah, so it's hard for me to get time off, and it takes a lot of time. Like, yeah, they're over a weekend, but
yeah,
they usually start on a Thursday, and there's always things kind of happening on Monday. And so next thing you know, you're basically having to take a week off and spending X amount of money, for travel and accommodation. It's a lot, really.
It is. I mean, I think, you think about going to a con and you're like, oh, just pay for the con. But no, there's like a hotel, and then there's a flight. And then like for us, we have to board Logan. So there's that. And like that expense goes into it.
Exactly.
It's not cheap.
No, not at all. Yeah.
I mean,
it's not like you're making, for most of us, we're not making any money. Like it's purely for a hobby or whatever. Or we're not, some of us get paid to go, but it's still, there's still expense involved.
Hey, Oliver, how's it going? Yes, Oliver, we will see each other at Scareback. I am convinced that this will happen. And food, says Fourth World Adam. It's absolutely true.
Food, exactly. Yeah. We packed like one of our suitcases full of food when we went to Star Wars Celebration.
Right.
We have a family of 4, and we have kids that like, you pay $60 for a meal and they eat like 2 bites or something. So yeah, I brought like granola bars and crackers and chips and all that stuff with us.
Awesome. Well, Rick is going to his first American con this year, Brick World. That's excellent. I so wish we were going to be there. And a little somebody snuck into the green room while no one was looking. It is sometimes Blair. Hi, Blair.
Hey. Hi, everybody.
I saw you yesterday, but I couldn't get to you. I'm sorry.
Oh, it was so busy yesterday. Oh my gosh.
I did a flyby at the mall right by the Lego store and was like, nope. I was just gonna wave. I kind of did a wave. I was like,
by. We saw a few people like right before closing. That was pretty much, other than opening, that was the only time to get in without a line. So.
It was nuts. So what was the thing? What were most people in for?
I would say Starry Night was probably one of our top sellers.
Wow, that's great.
Because we're being restocked on it, and it's moving. And it's such a beautiful model.
Yeah, it is.
And then I'd say that it's kind of all over the place for the rest of it. there's a few, like there's new stuff kind of everywhere.
Optimus Prime, how's he doing?
Optimus Prime, we are so well stocked on, it's hard to tell how it's moving, but it is moving. I mean, he's driving out of there. But like, I think a lot of people are tentatively holding off just because of the upcoming GWP stuff. So,
Right.
at least I'm being told that, and I feel like I'm seeing that. Like the Ferrari isn't exactly like, so.
Yeah, that's the case for me. I was like, all of this can kind of wait until there's a promo. Yeah.
Okay, so this kind of leads into something I wanted to talk about today, and Blair, you're welcome to recuse yourself from the conversation if you want.
I mean, everything I'm saying is my own like personal opinions and observations.
Of course. Excuse me, one second. Ooh.
I'm there a lot. I'm there a lot more than I was when I was shopping. So.
Okay, so there. If you've been following the news, and I'm sure you have, because everybody here seems to do that, starting in August, prices on a certain number of Lego sets are going to be going up. And I know there's been a lot of talk about like, well, they just, they're just marking record profits, but they're raising prices and all that sort of thing. I'm just curious what y'all's thoughts are on that. I mean, like, you can't. I mean, I know part of it is because ABS plastic has gotten very expensive to make because oil prices are insane. So that is part of it. That's definitely like a thing. And I know, and I will say it's not all. They're not going up across the board. It's like, I believe they said like 25% of the sets, which is, to be fair, like 25% is a decent amount of sets. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, and we haven't heard exactly what those are going to be yet. But my guess, if I had to guess, it's going to be a lot of the IP stuff.
That would be my guess as well.
But that's just my speculation.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Honestly, I haven't even seen a ton of like official stuff. Definitely not on my end of things about this, but I would say that my personal opinion is that there are quite a few sets in recent times that have actually been really under the price of what we've been accustomed to. And not only do I always go with like Lego is technically cheaper than it ever has been. And they haven't really brought up the prices along with everything else. We're seeing it across the board, right?
I agree.
The world is catching up on the cost end. Whether or not it's catching up on the supply and labor end, that's a whole other conversation. But Lego is part of the the functional world where things are getting more expensive, so it kind of makes sense. And I feel like I said, there have been some sets that have these seemingly huge price per piece gaps. And it obviously, like Technic, I think you can kind of put in its own category, like anything that has electronic functions or Technic pieces, because they're more expensive to produce. Right. But the biggest example for me was like the Home Alone house. I was blown away at the price of that set. It's a massive set. That's the
thing. It probably shocks people to say that it's cheaper than it's ever been, right? People probably aren't seeing that because the sets are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and so the price overall keeps going up. Like it's getting more expensive, but more cost effective. That's
like I always follow up by saying the difference is that when we were kids, $100 wasn't going to get you a 1,000-piece set, but there also wasn't a $1,000 set. Right. That's the other thing, right? That there weren't sets of this magnitude. So while like the value for your money is going really far now,
I wonder if they're going to eventually start to scale back down a bit, or if they're just gonna kind of follow the market, right? Like if they just keep on keeping on, they do an incremental price increase. Of course, if they start with sort of the adult audience, they're the ones that they suspect can probably stomach it, right? And so if sales keep going on as they are, I imagine they probably won't do much of anything different. But if it really does put people off, and they're like for me, I already have a pretty good, as an adult, collector, I have a pretty good inventory. I'm not as compelled to buy any and everything that they come out with anymore. And then if they do a price increase, that's even more
I'm looking at your background and saying you're
you've
pretty compelled.
In the situation though, like there's only so much. Yeah.
Right now,
So-
I tell people every day they're wandering around the store like I'm having so much trouble deciding, and I say you can't swing a stick without hitting like 3 amazing sets, and everything else in between is pretty much good too. I mean, it's so hard.
It's
to
so
be working
hard.
there.
But
Like,
if,
I used to work in grocery. Come home with food all you want, but I can't come home with Lego every day.
If they increase the price, though, that is kind of a compelling issue to like have to be more selective, you know. So I do kind of wonder. Like, I sort of wish that they would go back to making smaller sets, you know, just because space and cost and everything involved. Like, it just gets kind of exhausting at this point. Like with everything being so big and so expensive, it's just prohibitive to the hobby. I think
it's not everything, but there are an amazing number of huge sets, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. People come in. I mean, yesterday, twice I was asked to like, oh, isn't there another stadium? I'm like, yeah, we just don't have room on the wall. It's at the register because like
like it's not
just
sustainable.
So big.
Yeah, they can't keep going bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think if they're going more and more expensive, they have to kind of scale it back a little bit, right? You would think. But I think they're just going to follow market trends, right? Like if people keep consuming what they're putting out, I don't think there's any reason for them. There's no signal for them to do anything different. But I do kind of feel like,
the responsibility is not so much on the person creating the product and the art. It's on the consumer to stop themselves from feeling the need to buy every $800 set that comes across.
Well, yes, and I feel a little bit differently about that. Like, I feel like, how is it, and I'm almost never critical, you know, of Lego, but how is it not opportunistic? How is it not opportunistic? What are they saying is the justification for raising prices on the adult sets that are already pretty pricey? Like, they must have some marketing information that says why they're doing it, and it's not just ABS, right?
I can't really speak to it personally. I don't really, like I said, I don't really know the information, and I'm not hearing stuff on my end. But I would speculate that a lot of it might come from anticipating costs and trying to keep things kind of even, right? Like if this is the growth that we want, and the fact that Lego is doing so much as a company to get ahead of the game when it comes to like green initiatives and things like that, which are very costly. They're privately owned still, so I'm sure that it has a lot to do with the way that they're investing the money that they're making and anticipating this massive cost increase across the board around the world, especially when it comes to making stuff out of petro. Like this is, I mean, it's a scary time for anyone involved in oil-based stuff right now. And Lego is close with their, you know, replacement brick stuff, but they're playing it really safe, and they want to produce the best product they can. So
you know what makes
like to put out a bunch of pet plastic bricks.
You know what I think makes Lego so smart as a company is that they have withheld price increases. Like, I mean, it's good and bad, right? There's a pros and cons to having kept the price, the cost kind of the same for so many years, because then, you know, when they do need to do a price increase to as like a response to their market costs, right, or their overhead, then they're able to do it, right? But the problem is I think because they haven't done steady price increases over many years, it makes it harder to absorb as a consumer, right? Because you're like, oh no, the prices are going up, especially when prices are going up for everything. It feels kind of overwhelming. But if you know anything about, if you've tracked the costs over a number of years, you know that it was a long time coming. And I would rather, you know, it's kind of nice that they haven't increased the prices so that when they do, it's like, okay, that's fair, right? Like, it doesn't feel as burdensome as if they were just continuously increasing them. And it kind of feels like also, you know, if they stay with kind of the trend, they'll probably do one bump and then we may not see another one for a really, really long time. It's not like they're going to increase 5% every year, you know?
Well, that's a good point. And I bet a lot of it has to do with shipping too. Right.
I know everything. Yeah.
In my industry, everything has gone up like 10 to 15%, like twice recently.
And Lego still offers free shipping at a really low threshold.
Yeah.
So
it's true. Yeah.
They do.
So I
wouldn't be surprised if that threshold goes up as well, though.
It's
And pretty
possible.
regular gifts with purchase.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another thing that just occurred to me too is think about the last time Lego was in financial trouble. And it was because of producing a ton of new molds and new specialty parts.
Mhm.
And look where we are now. It's part of what makes this like the platinum age for Lego is that we are getting the new pieces. We're getting those things that are filling in the gaps that we've been hoping for. We're getting specialized parts for minifigures and all these different things. And if you know anything about the cost of injection molding, you know all that stuff costs buku bucks, and they want it perfect. I mean, look at the Muppet series. It's perfect. I mean, every time I can do one of those bags in 2 seconds, but it doesn't make it any less of like the perfect minifig series. And each one of those specialty cast pieces cost tens of thousands of dollars to make.
Yeah.
So,
and I guess that is kind of where prices did jump up considerably. It was with the collectible minifigs. They did go up and, a considerable amount of price, but isn't it typically still $1 more for the licensed figures than the regular ones, or has that changed now?
I think they were always the same.
I think they're even now. It was just that one, the Disney bump, and then when they all came up in price, it wasn't like exactly uniform.
But they have been. There have been like more. There's always like specialty parts and pieces and stuff for the CMFs. But that's the only other price hike I can
But
think
we're
of.
seeing it across the board too. Like the new pieces being developed and taking all this time to perfect the piece for a set, rather than let a set kind of fall short of like the expectations at this point. I mean, the amount of research that went into working on the Back to the Future set alone, like that's tons of labor and research, and then creating all those. I mean, thankfully, all the rapid prototyping decreases some of that, but the fact that they're following through and then creating those pieces in the end is like, it's still a huge cost increase, I think.
And I know people are like Alexander's comment of like, you think Lego sucks in prices. Vegetable oil went up from $6 to $9.50 in 2 weeks. Like, I mean, it's the same but different. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying is Lego has taken sort of a different approach to their cost management, where like they've sort of prepared, for a decade or more for a price increase, right? So instead of like reacting more immediately to inflation and overhead and stuff, they've sort of like, feels like they kind of have this like these savings over here, right, where they kind of prepared for this price increase, and I think they do it once because it's like, okay, now's the time to like push the button, and then they probably won't push it again for a while, which means when God willing, if prices come down for everything else, I don't expect that we're going to see prices drop for Lego, because they're just kind of catching up to like what prices probably should have been for a number of years anyway. And then by the time, inflation, everything else gets under control, even if their prices don't come down, they're still kind of like evened out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they probably could go up more. That's the thing, is like, if we're like comparing it to the cost to everything else, they could probably do a much bigger price increase and still be kind of like even with what everything else is costing. But they wouldn't want to do that, because then again, like, when prices start to come down on everything else, then they'd have to drop their prices, and they don't want to have to do that. It's like they only want to have to do a price increase however many years and then not have to do it again.
Look at cost and quality in other parts of the toy world, and you will see a massive difference between stuff from 10 years ago and stuff now. It's nothing like Lego, whereas Lego has stayed steady. The other stuff has literally like doubled in cost and dropped in quality overall. It's wild.
And it's cool that they even tell you. They give you like months notice too. Like there's going to be a price increase in a few months. So like,
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of quality, now this is what
I know where you're going.
This is what I mean. I mean, okay, they're going to raise the prices, whatever. I think it's just one of those things when a series of news items or things come in groups, and sometimes they're just unfortunate timing. Like I think like them announcing they're making record profits, and then a week later they're announcing that they're raising prices.
Yep.
Like that's a tough one to take, right?
It is. Yeah.
So I spent a week immersed in Lego Star Wars stuff. And it was great. It was really exciting. It was cool to
Yeah.
meet some of the designers, and we revealed some really cool sets at Star Wars Celebration. And then this week,
Can I make a preview statement to this? Just a preview statement to say that I was concerned a moment ago about the prices going up, and it's easy to think with the giant sets that prices have gone way up. But what I was going to say just before getting coffee is that quality hasn't dropped, that they keep giving us better and better minifigs, better boxes, better sets, almost 100% of the time.
Yes. So this set was announced this week, and I know there's been a lot of. It feels bad because I'm always kind of like ribbing people who get upset about Lego Star Wars sets. No, I won't say that I'm upset about this, but I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is $50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, no disrespect to the designers or anything else, but
I have questions.
I have questions as well.
Yeah.
It just and I get it. It has play functions, right? Like the little discs in here in the middle. They spin, and I guess maybe this little thing with the cheese wedges in kind of dumps out or something. But I have, and I'm generally pretty rah about Lego sets. Like I can find the silver lining or the joy in a lot of things. But this really seems like a misstep to me.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher. I mean, again, this is almost kind of a separate thing because when they were saying like the price increases were probably aimed more towards the adult market, I don't think this would fit in that.
This is an 8+ set,
right. So, but this is already like, this is already overpriced. So this is when you get into that mucky territory. Yeah.
Can I be bold enough to say that while I'm a huge Lego fan and I have so much respect for the designers and all that, but this set looks unfinished to me. It looks like it was half done.
Yep.
It feels, you know what? That's my guess. That's why I said I have questions, because I feel like this was probably rushed to get out in time for Oakland. Yeah. Yep.
It needs a little vertical scale at least, because it's kind of like an expensive base.
Yeah.
I saw somebody like tweeted like, "Oh, Lego's finally made a floor set."
The floor is only partly lava. It looks.
I know exactly.
Right. So, that's why it's got the plate.
If it had been lava, I guarantee the adult market would have been talking about it very differently. If this had just been that other scene,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Hi, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce, how's it going?
So yeah, so I was so I don't know,
confused,
alarmed when I saw this. I was just
taken
like,
aback.
Wait, what? Especially after the 3 sets that we saw at Star Wars Celebration, which were like in a couple of cases a triumph in like shape making and like that Inquisitor ship and that Andor ship were both like just so beautifully detailed. And then this just really seemed like, especially after all the excitement of Star Wars weekend, and then we hear that they're raising prices and they're making record profits, and then this happens, and it was just kind of like
rough week.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So, and there's been some comments in the chat too about, some discrepancies in quality. Like overall, I think that they have maintained a pretty exceptional mark for quality or standard for quality. It's tough. The amount of stuff, the saturation of stuff that they're making, the number of people that they have working on these things, and they've just hired, I don't know how many more designers, like a lot. It's a lot. And yeah, some stuff is going to fall through the cracks, but you know, like the color issues that they've had with like the brittle, you know, the brittle pieces and the colors. But it's not so much that we expect, or I certainly don't expect everything that they make to be absolutely like on point and perfect every time. What I do give them credit for is the way that they respond to their consumer base, you know, like when there are issues with things, particularly with like quality control, especially that's where
Quality control, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's kind of where they've been able to sort of maintain quality because of that, right? Like whenever there's an issue, they fix it, right? And they want it to be perfect. This gets into like much trickier because this is subjective. It really is. Like most of us are probably going to agree that this falls short of their quality standards, but it is kind of subjective. Like when you're talking about making toys for kids, there's probably kids that like love this, you know, like, you know, they do product testing, you know, they give this to kids and they let them play with it and they take notes, and this was probably a hit. And they were like, well, why would we need to put any more time and money into this if this is what they consider a success?
Yeah,
you
but
know?
at a $50 price point,
That's the problem. And there's a huge
painful.
disconnect between the people creating the product and the people who are pricing the product, you know?
Right.
So, and when you're talking about licensing,
what were you going to say, Blair?
What's the piece count on this one?
Let me see. 408 pieces.
It's tough because I think, especially as adults, we look at it and we see the landscape as being very unpolished. But the Dark Trooper Attack hallway set is kind of a similar thing to compare it to, and that's been a hit. The play features are really loved by kids. I can speak from experience. Like the way that they've done these raised bases and added features in this hidden way is like, it's really cool. It's kind of a new thing, right? It's not super flat.
Right.
And the you've got now like hero characters, right? You've got the Darth Vader with the printed arms, I believe, is that one. And then this new robot thing looks awesome. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it, but kind of amazing. So I see where like it's forming, but it is really hard not to look at the all the studs, I think, and not, there aren't enough like little cheese slopes even just to sort of tidy up some of the rock work. But again, just it's tough. I'm sure that there was some rushing happening. Like
there was definitely. Yeah.
Well, the way that, you know, TV stuff and the licensing, I'm optimistically curious about how that all happens. I would love to see the behind the scenes.
Yeah, see, I'm right there with Zissou, and I think they probably are on to us. Like I think they know the majority of I'll say even kids and adults that collect these sets or want these sets probably want them for the figures. Like 90% of it is about those figures. And
I can
so
100% tell you from my experience, like that, especially like I have a lot of connections with some, like I've talked to a lot of people who work at Bricks and Minifigs, like that types of thing. And constantly people bring in sets that have had all the minifigs removed.
Figures. Yep.
Always.
Yep.
So here's one where you can get hero characters at close to a $10 a minifig price point.
Yep.
And you can then not have something to resell.
Yeah, it's the same strategy they've used with a lot of the superhero sets. It's exactly the same thing where you get these really, really badass like superhero minifigs, and then there's like this kind of vehicle or something with it that like nobody cares about.
And to be honest, it's a response to what people have been asking for in a way too, because it's hard to tell people so often, you know, that don't know about things like the fact that Lego can't produce minifigures on their own, and the licensing that goes into action figures, and how certain companies can make figures, and Lego has to put things in building sets. And you know what we really didn't like when they were all glued to magnets and only as keychains and all these other things that Lego tried to offer us that weren't quite, you know, what people wanted. So this is a way to like make more of a set and less of a blister pack, and they got the hero figures in there, and like I think it could have worked more as a blister pack like the Thor one,
Right.
I'm not, that's where I'm, personally like, why isn't it that instead of this? Like, but maybe there needs to be more landscaping kits that are just landscaping parts.
I think that's what they were going for here.
Yeah, but like if there was a generic one, right? Like here's a landscaping kit, comes with some 8x16 and 16x16 plates and some cool stuff to do rock work.
Yeah, like what if they had packaged this set as like not built, but just like a bunch of like gray, just all the parts like
Great
in
one.
a like Star Wars creator set.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, no disrespect to the designers, because I know somebody worked on this, and
A lot of people worked on it.
Yeah, but it just, like I said, just in context with all of the other announcements over the past couple of weeks, it was really just kind of like,
yeah, it was bad.
Well,
hopefully Lego Con will just reinflate the emotions, right?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like they have a menu they're given, right? Like you've got a certain budget for box art, you've got a certain budget for minifigs, play functions, and all that. And while I got really used to the hidden side sort of triptych, like diorama sorts of things that had a lot more vertical scale and all that, maybe they just said that's not the most important thing about this set.
Yeah. And let me say, I'm not happy about the price hike. Like, I would rather they not have to increase prices, but I am not surprised. Let's put it that way.
Well,
All right,
I'm reminded it's approaching a certain time.
Oh, it's
ready.
past a certain time.
I know.
She's ready, man. She's right here.
All right, here we go, everybody. It is, sorry, I was busy trying to get the mock cam going, so we'll see about that here in a second. But it is, in fact, time for the pause that refreshes everybody. That's right. It's Logan cookie time.
Hi, everyone.
Look who it is.
It's Logan. Hi.
Yay, Logan.
Right, can you catch it?
Whoa.
That's a good one.
Almost took my chin on that one.
Right there.
All right,
Okay,
and
another little one, just like right on your nose. Stay. There you go.
yay, Logan. What a
Today's your
good
day.
boy. You're a good
Today's
boy.
your day. You're gonna catch it.
And now over to Skittles with the weather. That will never not be funny. I'm
You
sorry.
can catch it. Catch it.
And her super cape. Okay, Logan, you can go down.
No. Come on. You can do it. Ready?
It's like one of these days, but not today.
Not today.
No.
You can't take it back once you've thrown it, Holly.
Oh no, my little guy's all blown out. He's like a little dumpster monster.
Very good.
Nice teeth.
Whoa, did Skittles just growl?
No, that was me.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Okay. Very good.
She's heavy. You don't even realize how heavy she is.
And that, everybody, has been Logan Cookie Time.
Now she
All right. Well, I've got the mock cam here. It doesn't work. I've got the mock cam here, and I'm trying to figure out how to, because it's on my phone. I'm trying to figure out how I can flip the camera around. Let's see. It's not really giving me that. But talk amongst yourselves, please, while I do this technical
Oh my
thing.
goodness.
Can I just say how delightful the Olivia Space Academy is? I mean,
Oh, show us Lego Space
Nice.
Academy, the friends, right?
with this great sliding door.
Look at
this
those.
awesome
working
Rarity in the
glory.
back.
It's so awesome. I show that to
It's
people all
so
day.
good.
It's so satisfying.
That's
That's
great.
Really,
Cool.
really excellent. And then there's
Plus
this awesome.
the freeform holographic stickers.
Oh my God, the stickers.
Oh.
Whoa.
Stickers are
Oh.
absolutely amazing. I mean, and I have so many more left to put on.
And this is in partnership with NASA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, NASA.
Cool.
This really is. I mean, I'm having so much fun building this.
Wow, those stickers are great.
My favorite piece, though, is the classic Space branded Space cookies.
Space
The
hoodies.
little cookies, little 1x2 clear tile with space cookies.
Space
Oh, I haven't
cookie.
gotten to those yet.
Oh, I want space cookies.
Hi,
I
Johnny.
want cookies.
Okay, so I've got. I think I'm gonna have to turn
on the
the overhead light. So our lights are gonna go a little kablooey here for a second. So my apologies.
Oh,
Yeah,
that wasn't
looked awful. But gonna give everybody a little sort of catch up on what we've been doing here for our piece for Lego House. So let's see. So like I mentioned yesterday, we've been working on landscaping forever, like insanely forever. So and yesterday we got a chance to actually start doing some minifig stuff. So I was very excited about that. So I'm gonna give you the little. Well, there goes the door. So I guess I can turn. There we go. So here is.
That looks so cool.
Can you go to a big screen, Flynn?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Press. Sorry, this is gonna have to go on the whole screen. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, go for it. I want to see it too.
Please.
Okay, so you've seen some of this, right? Like the little trirems.
Still working on the monster.
Everybody doesn't have their fishtails yet, but here we're starting to. You can kind of get a look at the undersea area.
There's my
Thanks,
seahorse.
Holly, for the seahorse.
Yes, and
Welcome.
thanks to Kara for the amazing octopus.
Yay.
Nice.
Great in it. Now, if you've seen Instagram, you've probably already seen this little sort of a cliff with the temple on the top.
Yeah.
And some people have asked, is this Mount Olympus? No, actually, Mount Olympus will be much higher up. It will be represented.
Yeah,
but
that's
not
sort
at
of
the
a
moment.
temple to Apollo.
Yeah.
And the eagle's going to be somewhere else.
So we also, you can start to see some of the landscaping, our little temple. And now, I got to say, these were some of my favorite things that we did yesterday with minifigs. So we were trying to come up with our own version of Hades. And I was like, he really needs to be kind of like sad because his wife is upstairs having a party. So Persephone is going to be our main character, and she's going to be up here partying with the muses, like all hanging out above this
Flowers
lake.
all around her.
And I know we've mentioned this before, but this lake that we made actually is a window. You can see all the way through this, and it lets light in down here into the underworld.
Perfect.
Now this one, I texted both Holly and Kara yesterday, and I was like, okay, is this part too grim, like for Lego House? Like, should this be too grim? We came up with this little.
I said it was appropriately grim.
Yeah, so we were trying to come up with a really good story for Charon the boatman, and this is what we ended up with.
Ferryman on the river Styx.
That's awesome.
That's so good.
I love this effect too. The oozing effect
Yes.
is so good.
Flash.
Oh, thank
like the
you.
splatting
The
up.
splashing.
That
Yeah,
was a nice discovery yesterday.
yeah,
So
we had a
good.
lot of fun with that. So yeah, and then you can still see it's still not completely formed, but
Oh,
is
There we go.
Hephaestus's forge.
Nice.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's great.
And he's starting to get the lava waterfall at the back of the forge
Yeah.
there as we're working on the volcano.
So here you can see above the labyrinth, which if you've probably seen on Instagram.
Yes.
Love it.
There is Cerberus here guarding the entrance to the underworld.
And we're going to have Orpheus with his lyre there.
And-
next to-
Oh, wait, Hooded One, you got to watch because there's going to be parts of this I bet you're not going to see as in great a detail as what we get to see up close.
Poor Perseus will have a head. He just
Oh my
doesn't-
gosh. Now that's
He will
dark.
have one. So there's that. And now this to me, okay, this is one that I got to look at the camera for this. This is one that we came up with yesterday that I was so excited about. And it just goes to prove that if you can find the right minifigure head, you can tell a story through an expression. So like that is a really good example. Like that is a entire story told through a facial expression, right? So we laughed about
So
this
good.
unreasonably last night, but this
Yes, that's
Yes. Yes.
our Pandora story.
Oh, that's perfect.
And this is
She's like, "What's in the box?"
oh dear. And I think that is the bottom of the villain from Hidden Side.
Yeah.
And we use Jack
It's
Skellington's box.
so perfect.
It's just kind of perfect, right?
Yeah, it's not her favorite day. I also Flynn selected the wig for her that I think is really good.
It's from Superhero Girls.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now.
So yeah, so that was plus we did a bunch of work on the volcano, which has just been like hours and hours and hours of rock work. But anyway, so yeah, thank you. Thanks. Well, you know, it's one of those things where you it was, I mean, I think we can both admit it was starting to get very tedious doing all that rock work. And
well, I'm doing the fill-in behind all of those slopes as well. So it's like a plate, a 1x2. Oh, it's just so slow, tiny little fill-in work.
Excruciating. So that, you know, I think our sort of foray into starting to put some minifigs in and some stories in really brought it to life for us and made us. It spurred us on to bigger and better things, which I'm very excited about.
Well, the
Just
whole
like that Star Wars set will do for kids. It won't excruciatingly do a lot of rock work, and they'll get to the minifigures and they'll just tell a wonderful story.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great spin.
I've been building this base
what
for
happens.
35 minutes.
I saw kids at our demo table yesterday. Let me tell you, those sets that were there were not sets by the end of the day, but they had a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I mean, and it is always important, as we've talked about many times in the past, to consider who the set is meant for.
Right.
And lowering our expectations based on that.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't say
You know what?
lowering. I would say just adjusting.
Yeah, that's the thing is like if I was in the store with my kid and that was the set he wanted, I would be talking him out of it. I'd be like, "Come on, you can spend $50 on something that's a little more substantial." Yeah.
Well, even if it's
an Obi-Wan blister pack, I think would have been the hot seller.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you watched said show, the Kenobi show yet? I watched one episode.
Okay.
Yeah, my house has been on the market for a little over a week. It has been madness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well.
Yep.
I'm optimistic
about
the Obi-Wan show.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so far the first episode was great. I really enjoyed it.
I have thoughts, but I will reserve them all because I know there's no way to discuss without spoilers.
Right. Well,
again, like, nah, we'll have to talk about it another time.
I will something like Anakin becomes Vader or something. I don't know.
I know. I gotta say, baby Leia is like my 100% like new favorite thing on the planet. Like she is so good, and I cannot believe I saw people online complaining that she was too sassy. And I was like, have you met Princess Leia? Like, have you ever seen a movie with her in it? Like, she didn't just get sassy when she turned 20.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Sky Mom has a message for you. I can't show the message, but Sky Mom has a message for you.
Yeah, I had a hard time believing she was 10 because she's supposed to be 10 in the show. And I was like, man, she does not seem 10 to me. Like she's, and I don't think she was like 7. Yeah, like when they filmed it, she had to have been closer to 8, I think. So that's the only part that's a little off because like I have a 10-year-old and it just doesn't.
one of my favorite things though that I showed was like they were was a comparison of the photos of the actors who play young Aunt Beru and young Uncle Owen, and then they like showed them what they looked like, what we're supposed to look like. What is it?
16 years later.
16 years later.
Yeah,
it's
like three suns on Tatooine will age you real quick.
Yes, right. I was like, dang, it must be tough living with 3 sons, and even Obi-Wan.
I was gonna say maybe that's why Leia looks so young. They're trying to really give that comparison of people who are like maybe doing some space travel and aren't under 3 suns are just like a lot younger looking.
Oh my god! But yeah, it was really. The age comparison photos were pretty, I have to say, pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I must say, like, I kind of went into Obi-Wan with my expectations low because we kind of already know, like, where it leaves off and where it picks up from the other films. Like, basically, they leave off with, like, Obi-Wan, the kid, Luke and Leia are born, and we know Obi-Wan's going to take Luke to Tatooine, right? And then how old is Luke when R2 comes to find him? He's like, or when he finds R2, it's like
it's for the 18 or 19, I think.
Yeah, like less, about 20ish or whatever. So we know this happens somewhere in that 20-year span on Tatooine, right? And like we haven't heard from Ben, and we just know he's living like in a desert somewhere, and like you kind of like he goes to Tatooine, and he's still there 20 years later. So it's like, how much can you really expect to have happened?
But the other thing too is they're kind of. I think they're almost trying to see, kind of pull off the hat trick that they tried to do with Loki, where we already know the bookends, but like what happened in between those bookends.
Yeah, but with like Loki, you kind of like anything could have happened with Loki in that amount of time, right? Because he's like.
But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. But yes, that's exactly what it is. I mean, that's what all these kind of character backstories are, or like filler spin-off stories are, is like, oh, but what's happening over here? And usually that's pretty interesting to me, but it must be quite the challenge to fill in 20 years on Tatooine to make that interesting,
I look forward to seeing what they do, because with Loki, I feel like they cheated. They were just like, we know where we're going, but you know what? Now it's anything can happen day. And everything was up for grabs in Loki.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're dealing with, time convergence and alternate timelines and multiverses, like you can kind of do that. But I also, but they kind of did the same thing with, although there's less solid evidence of what he was doing during that time, but of course they did basically the same thing with Book of Boba Fett, right? Like we're seeing what happened between bookends. We already understand.
And like, which for better or worse.
right. Well, and it's funny. To me, it kind of plays into the whole. I call it the Wicked factor.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the author of the book Wicked really started this trend of what would it be like if we saw the story from somebody else's point of view. And that's, I mean, I feel like that kind of plays into this, whatever, like, I mean, and if he didn't invent it, he at least popularized it.
Sure.
It's a more serious version of the like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, right? You're seeing the same thing from outside the normal perspective. Right. It's not so much like a comedy or commentary. It's like actual storytelling.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And I'm into that. Like that's normally like, that's fine. And I've also like, I mentioned this to Eric too, like when we were going to Star Wars Celebration, we were kind of talking about the whole like Star Wars fandom and whatever. It's like, for us, we both kind of agreed, like we have our Star Wars, right? Like we're content with, what we grew up with and sort of like what we kind of hold near and dear. Like we're content with that, right? And anything else is just kind of gravy. Like it doesn't have to satisfy us. It doesn't have to be anything mind-blowing or game-changing or anything like that. Like it's to a certain degree, it can sometimes taint your original. Because I think like when Boba Fett disappears, you kind of have in your own head like what might have happened to him, and then when they tell you what happens, it kind of spoils your imagination a little bit, like what you imagine to have happened. But beyond that, it kind of doesn't matter. It's just like, you know.
I'll be straight up honest. Like, I never gave 1 second of thought about what happened to Boba Fett. Like,
which
seriously,
is why it kind of doesn't really
never thought about it.
Yeah.
And I was
well,
fine.
you kind of wonder. I mean, I guess for me, like, you always sort of wonder those characters that are like, you always wonder if they're gonna like make a reappearance somewhere because you don't really actually ever see them die, right? So then you wonder, like, ooh, did they really die? Or are they gonna come back? You know, that kind of thing. But whatever.
I think my favorite additional storylines are things like when Robot Chicken gave Bosk a whole like profile segment. You know, those moments were amazing. I don't know if you've seen that, but he's like a super secret agent, almost like James Bond, ladies' man kind of lizard guy. It's really great.
What is Rots? I'm trying to understand Edison's comment. Rots was Masters? What is that?
Revenge of the Sith. That would be an act.
Got it. Okay.
We're all welcome to our opinions.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that you know what's going to happen. We're going to get a lot of high value cameos and minifigures out of this.
Yes. Yes, there is that. Now I'm curious about. Wow, this is 2 weeks in a row that we've like done like Star Wars deep dive talks, but you know.
There's a lot of Lego Star Wars there.
There is a lot to talk about.
And for Fourth World Adam, I know he says like, well, if you read the books and comics and stuff, you kind of already had the gaps filled in. So, I mean, that's like a whole nother thing too, because like when they came out with Solo, I was sort of expecting that. I can't remember what the series of books were. That was like kind of what was going on with Han Solo and his whole backstory. What was the name of those? If anybody remembers the name of that series of books, but I was expecting that, and it wasn't that. Like they kind of took it on a whole nother tangent. So it was still something completely made up. Like it wasn't like, yes, they were doing Solo's backstory and kind of filling in the gaps, but it was like mostly fabricated aside from anything that was like canon. So
well, I mean, I was so confused when Force Awakens ended. I was like texting ex-girlfriends like, wait a minute, isn't this what happens in Star Wars?
Right.
She wrote me back and was like, though they changed the canon
already. They changed it.
I was looking it up on Wikipedia and I was having like a
But I'm not like upset about it because, like I said, I kind of have I already have my Star Wars, right? Or whatever Star Wars matters to me is fine. And then like whatever else they're making, I kind of feels like for somebody else. And it's, I can eat popcorn and enjoy it, but it's not going to like, it's not really going to impress upon me the way that the stuff I've already kind of like.
Well, I find it interesting too, because I know that there's been a lot of like continuity questions about like, especially surrounding Leia saying she remembers her mother in the first movie, but then she like died in childbirth. So like, how does she remember her? There's like, I've heard that discussion a lot, or in one of the movies. I don't remember which exactly one, but there is one of them where she says she remembered her mother was like beautiful and kind. But then we see her in the prequels. She like dies in childbirth. So there's no way she could have known that. But like, to me, that is just like, nitpicky stuff.
She also has two mothers. So are we talking her biological mother?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, who knows, right? And you know, there was I was reading
mothers die, by the way. Spoiler
because Stranger Things had a weird continuity thing. So in one of the episodes that recently just happened, I believe it was the one of the ones where they went to a place. It was actually Will's birthday that was laid out in the first season, and they didn't mention it at all. Like basically the authors forgot that was what they had established as his birthday. And so the episode goes by with like nothing, and they admitted they forgot. And they were saying, you know, that like when you're making a world as big as something like a TV show or a movie, and I mean, look at Star Wars, which has been around forever. It is a huge, huge, huge universe. And they're like, it's impossible to keep up with it all. Although apparently fans can do it because they've got ample amount of time. But I'm just saying, like, it is, I can imagine in that job, it would be very tough to try and remember every single little thing that you've done. And they actually hire people to do that.
That's somebody's job, though. that's a big miss for me. Like, how do you mess that up? I don't know.
You know, it's
Like
funny.
in Lego related, in the movie the recent remake, in the first one, it was such a perfect period piece, and then there's the Lego in the kids' room, and it is all new, like post 2000s parts and color. Everything else was a perfect period piece. All they had to do was look up like 1980s Lego and buy one off eBay, and they didn't.
That bugs me. I mean, like I'm in film business. Like I work on that kind of stuff. And like we pay so much attention to detail and the work that we do.
But outside of Lego fans, who would notice that? Honestly.
They didn't buy a Schwinn from Toys R Us. They bought a 1980s Schwinn, you know, like why wouldn't they do the same for everything else? You're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to rent cars that in pristine,
absolutely.
Condition. It's like
that's not the thing I notice as a Lego fan, it's a thing I notice as someone who pays attention when they watch movies, you know?
Well, I was thinking, Holly, what you were saying about how you have your Star Wars and anything now is just sort of gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like that about Lego, actually. I mean, I'm going to get more sets, but I know what Lego means to me. I know what makes me happy about it. I know what I like.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than getting so upset that the newest thing doesn't add to that what I like, it's cool. Like I just get excited when something like that space set happens, and it's all just gravy.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't expect everything from Lego to like hit the mark and to be perfect every time. Like that's not really my expectation. It's that in general, they make a really good product, you know, and they continue to make a really good product, and they keep improving on that product. Like that's about all you can ask for, right? Like, and
that's the thing about this Star Wars set that we were just talking about, the floor, is that like I'm not upset about it.
Right.
I'm not angry about it. I just more have like a big question mark over my head.
Yeah,
like
questions.
It's surprising.
Yeah. But I think I would be more concerned. Well, actually, I'm a little concerned that I have been concerned for a long time that is the trend, right? Like we've known for the longest time that Star Wars sets are like way overpriced. And like I said, they're onto us. They know that Star Wars fans are basically buying those sets for the figures, like and some parts. Like that's their market, but they know it, and they are like Richard said, a little opportunistic about it. Like, well, and I don't think it's the design on the designers, you know, or it's just like the small portion of the company that is like, what's the absolute maximum price tag we can put on this that people might actually still spend, even though it.
So do you think this is kind of like a test balloon?
I mean, a little bit. Like it's hard to say because it's a licensed set. I don't know what their license deals are like. Like it may just be that they're just having to give up such a huge portion to Disney, which would be my guess. That Disney's charging crazy money for that license, and so maybe Lego's barely got a margin on those things. Like I have no idea what that is, but it's trickling to the consumers, and like I said, as long as the consumers keep buying them, they're going to keep charging it. So
well, just like in movies, there's lots of different jobs at Lego, and one person's job is to make the coolest sets possible, and one person's job is to make the most profit possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is a business that is here to make money.
Right. Yeah. So it's really up to consumers. Like we can complain all day, but if we're still buying, those figures and a few parts, then
I'm going to vote with my wallet and buy the Friends space set.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
I gave that one to June for their birthday. Smash hit. Although that roller disco is also really tempting me.
Oh, I heard the roller disco is amazing. And also, by the way, happy birthday, June.
Yay.
Oh, happy birthday,
June.
Yep. 9 going on 19. It seems like something.
Yeah. Much different. She's like, okay, so you have a 9-year-old girl. Do you buy the 10-year-old Leia in the show?
I didn't see the show yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I've been too busy with the house. Basically doing like 6 years of to-do lists in 2 months' time.
I feel you on that. Yeah. I wondered. I just wanted to see if you were like, because I think it's like a topic we can totally let die, but I kind of felt like really the only problem with that character is they should have aged her younger. Like when they kept commenting that she's supposed to be 10, it was like the way that she acts, the kind of like sassiness and all that makes a lot more sense if she's like 6 or 7.
Hypothesis. Maybe
Yeah.
they're lying to throw
I
off the
wondered about
timeline
that.
because she's supposed to be Vader's kid, right? So maybe they're lying and saying that she's older to pretend to other people that this can't possibly be a Skywalker.
I would buy into that, but there's something in the show
That makes
that I
that
can't
not work.
say
Yeah.
that makes me not believe that because Obi-Wan already kind of messed up something else that he was not supposed to let slip.
Obi-Wan's brain's like not all there though. He didn't remember
not.
he had an R2 unit, so
It's those
Yeah.
3 sons. I'm telling you.
He's pretty washed up, man. Yeah.
Well, they could be more like Stranger Things and have a
Yes.
sassy 10-year-old played by a 15-year-old.
Yes, I mean 10-year-olds are plenty sassy, but it's like a I've had a 10-year-old girl. Like I have a daughter. It's just there's a different kind of sassiness at 10 than there is at like 6 and 7.
Mm.
And she feels
Yeah.
like a 6 or 7 kind of sassy as opposed to kind of like the more like
it's like cute versus pointed. I mean, it's still
Yes.
cute, but like they get the
Yes.
pointed part by now.
exactly. Yes. Yeah. Like she's yeah.
Well, that's
Imitation.
true too. They
versus,
can't say Luke is 10 and make Leia younger. That's very true.
We
Well,
haven't seen Luke yet, have we?
not that I know of. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Okay.
Wow,
Star
there
Wars.
sure is plenty of Star Wars.
Darth
going
Vader.
around.
R2D2, C3PO, live long and prosper.
I just
All
want
right.
to know if they're
Chewbacca.
bringing back the light up sabers for Lego.
I know if that set had light up sabers, then it would make a lot
What
more
I
sense.
thought too. That's what because I kind of wondered when I saw the price tag. I'm like, do the lightsabers light up or something?
Well, we know Lego is working on lighting.
Oh, thank you.
we
Thank
know
you,
that-
Adam.
They've done
is
it.
2 sons.
They've done it before.
We know they're working on lighting
2 sons.
because we got interviewed about
Oh.
it, but I just can't wait to see what they do.
Let me see if mine still work. Hang on a second.
The biggest challenge I think we learned about Lego and lighting is making something that won't break easily.
Yeah, I mean that because the wiring can get really,
It's so tiny.
And
I wanna see- I
Lego
wanna see-
wiring is typically really well insulated and takes up a lot more space.
Yep.
Okay, let me see if these still work. I'll be surprised.
Oh, that
if
one
they
even
do.
has a try me.
Oh no, too dark. Okay. Where is it? This one. Wait, how do they light
Oh,
up?
yeah,
Don't
that
you
one
guys-
little
works.
test tools.
The blue
Oh,
one.
they're
works.
so
It lit
dim.
up.
They're so
Oh, yeah.
dim. I'm gonna have to replace the batteries, but they barely light up.
It lit up.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So they
What's
have done it.
that?
This is the one with that where they actually included flames. The ultimate lightsaber duel.
Oh,
Now
thank you.
That's a cool looking set.
Lego
Yeah.
Don says the triple sun is in dark crystal. I knew it was.
I must have been thinking the third sun in the actual
Yeah.
desert here on our planet.
And honestly, this is like not too far off. I mean, if you look at, it's a pretty simply constructed set, right? Like there's not really a whole lot to it, but the play features are pretty cool. Like you put the figures on the sticks and you make them battle, and they do have the light up sabers. And there's
and it has a verticality.
it
I
does.
was thinking that.
Yeah.
Most of that verticality is just 3 pieces.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost more vertical than it is horizontal because this is all kind of like hollow in here. So there's really like only a few pieces, but the way that they use just the few pieces is kind of brilliant.
Exactly.
Right.
I think that's good set design, and by set I mean like a stage set.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
even
think I
when I
ever
first saw
that
this,
one with the long Technic axles. That's really clever. Actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it all has like the cool like lava piece here that was like awesome at the time, and
Well, and the box art is really cool too.
yeah, there was a lot. I mean, and I remember even at the time seeing the set and thinking that it wasn't really like a very good looking set. Like I remember thinking like, oh, that's kind of hideous. But then I saw the light up sabers. I was like, oh, okay, I gotta have that. So
Yeah, if they're getting low in battery, I'd say you got to open it up because I had a couple of those come through here and there in my collection, and they will corrode those little those little batteries. If they've ever been exposed to any moisture at all, one of them had like completely rusted out the back.
No, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
I
It
don't
happens.
know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I open it?
I'm not going to be. I am not. I am.
I can't.
leaving that to
Edison
you.
was saying
I
that
have
there
to
are cool
myself.
alternate models on the back, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
So that's
it
an
all-
unopened set?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be so hesitant. Wait till tomorrow and see what you think.
Yeah.
I mean, they will eventually corrode.
See, that's
but
my
if
rule
they're still
for
working,
buying-
they might be okay.
That's my
Yeah.
rule for buying Lego, actually. Like, I'll wait till tomorrow and see if I still feel like I need it. Or
I
next
just
week.
think I always thought this was just so cool, like the display thing where you could like push
Yeah.
down on them. Like that's kind of why I bought it. You know, like I didn't really care about the set. I just thought this was cool.
Then
It's
open
cool.
it. Open it and fix the batteries. All right. It is time, friends, for favorite minifigs.
Oh,
that's so
shoot, I'm not prepared.
I know, and I
Um,
even remembered this time. Kara, you look surprised and yet ready at the same time.
I'm looking for her. Oh, I know.
I
where
know.
she
You
is.
had her earlier.
I have Dr. Vidya.
Is her name really Vidya?
Dr. Vidya.
Is it Vidya?
Yes. She's got this great headset.
I love her hair too.
Her hair is delightful. She's a nice, skin tone.
Very cool.
Does
She's
she like to
awesome.
play video games?
Video games, exactly. She plays video games. That's Vidyo.
Yep, and she has
Oh.
this awesome
Oh, nice.
observatory. Right?
Oh, that's super cool.
I'm going to look over here. No, I'm going to look over here now.
Okay, Holly.
I don't know. Did I ever show you guys this thing? This is pretty cool.
Whoa.
I'm not gonna take him out of
Whoa.
the bag. Sorry.
Is that the gold chrome one?
It is. He's in there though. I don't know if you can. He's right there.
Very cool.
That's what you get to see. I was on the Star Wars kick, and that's like probably my coolest Star Wars figure, I guess, even though you can't see him.
Got
No,
it.
that's not coming out of the package either. Sorry.
Blair.
Oh my gosh. I just realized I was looking around out here and I realized the best ones I have are actually over here. Something I've been working on. I'm waiting on a couple extra pieces still, but I've been working on Our Flag Means Death. Many
Oh,
things.
yes.
So we've got Blackbeard
Excellent.
and we got Steed Bonnet. Nope,
Oh my
over here. Hold on.
That is
What
awesome.
is it?
I love that show,
Oh,
by
he's
the way.
perfect.
It's so good.
We've
So
got
good.
a really good one here for Jim.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yes.
And the teeth, they don't go back in.
All right. If you haven't seen Our Flag Means Death, you must because it's so good. All right.
A hex upon
Very.
you.
I see She-Ra as well.
Very cool.
Oh yes, Shira. We
I have one of those.
finally got June the Catra doll that we've been seeking for many years.
Nice.
Yep.
Izzy hands.
Oh, I like his
Yes,
hair.
it's coming along well.
Wow, you've been busy, Blair.
Very good.
Yeah. When I have
Along with
a few
moving,
moments.
selling your house.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Okay, I don't know this figure, but I really like
I
this
can
figure.
tell you exactly
and
all about it.
She's gonna be one of our fates.
Wait,
in our
hang on.
piece.
I'm trying to do the too many things at
she's cool.
once. There we
Wish
go.
I had a wiki to help focus. There
Nice.
we go. Nice.
So the body, that's from the Friends movie theater.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then Abuela's hair.
Yep. So we're gonna have the three fates sitting up on a cloud.
And I know
Your hair's
Um,
all-
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
If you,
I
if you
know
want
I've-
more jewelry, you can take the arms off and slip gold rings down over
Oh, very cool.
And
Yeah.
so the arms go back on if you take them off?
Yeah. Mini doll arms are kind of like Lego arms and like regular minifigure arms, in that they can snap out, but it takes a lot of force. But they'll pop back in.
Yeah.
They're not that bad. They're not bad at all, really.
I'm not.
It just feels weird.
All right. Now I already showed this guy, but he really is my favorite minifig of the moment because like we invented him from whole cloth from a bunch of other different minifigs. But our emo Hades
Yeah.
is my favorite at the moment. Oh, and now
People,
Clicky, why are you being a jerk? Yeah, Clicky's decided not to work now. Hang on one second.
They're on a break.
I'll have to do it manually since Clicky's not around. Here we go. Sorry, everybody. Give me 1 second. I don't understand how these things just decide to. Like,
I know. I thought
No.
computers were numbers.
No, there's gremlins.
No.
There's gremlins in the machine.
Right. How does 01000
Oh, there we go.
change?
Right. Here we go. Our emo Hades, which I've used the
Nice.
Spider Queen from Monkey Kid's helmet, the Spider Kid, I believe the Spider minifig
Right.
from the head.
Where the
Spooky,
epaulets
spooky
from?
The epaulets are from the villain from Hidden Side, as well as the
that's
torso.
I found those legs yesterday.
Yeah, and then we just found these legs, and it looked cool. And then I love his like tattered cape.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think
Whoa.
altogether he makes a pretty hilarious Hades.
He's like, "Oh, I'm in charge of the whole underworld." Great.
Ah, crap. Now I'm down here by myself. I hate my brother.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so yeah, that's my current.
That'd be Zeus, right?
Yes, Zeus. I gotta say, it's kind of between Hades and Pandora, but just because of her facial expression. But this guy, we just kind of stuck her head on a different body. But this one we really kind of created from scratch. So I do have a special place for Hades.
Wow, Fourth World Adam.
That's
Look what
awesome.
Fourth World Adam
he sent
got.
me a picture yesterday.
Wow,
Wow.
congratulations. You're going to have so much fun. It is my absolute.
Wow.
Okay, maybe Ewok
Yep.
Village is right up there too, but it is my favorite set now.
It's pretty good. Well, friends, it has been a delightful Sunday as always. So just a reminder, next Sunday is going to be our Pride show. What we are doing for that is a secret. And it's a secret because it's a secret. And then it's a secret because I don't know what we're doing yet. Anyway.
You're not supposed to know.
I know. You're not supposed to. Nobody heard me. I was whispering.
I know your aside was very subtle.
You like that? Moto will be gone next week because there will be we will be at Brick World. I imagine it'll be a shorter show next week, but we wanted to celebrate Pride before the month is over, and then we will be taking a 2-week hiatus as we go to Bricks by the Bay and then Brick Rodeo after that. So after next week, we won't be back until July.
We might show up on Instagram.
Yeah, we might show up doing a live on Insta, depending on like what the internet is like and all that. So keep an eye out there. You might find us over there.
Are you going to be in costume?
I'm considering it. Definitely at Bricks by the Bay. I'm not quite sure about Texas yet because it's going to be 1,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 degrees.
And you're basically wearing a cooler.
And I don't know. Like,
You got a helmet fan.
No, I did get a helmet fan.
I
And a
mean,
voice-
will remind you that the venue is air conditioned.
He
to the
will.
max.
And I'm
Yeah.
excited. I also, like it went over well in California at Star Wars Celebration. I don't know how well it might go over in Texas. I mean, we are going to Austin, so there is a certain
Yeah.
level of,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
think you're fine. Yeah.
But
I mean, it's basically the same bunch of weirdos. I think you're okay.
yeah, but they are having a costume contest. So
Yeah.
kind of feels like I need to like get my acts together for that. But
I think if you're gonna try and do like, have you considered trying to make like custom minifigs or anything? That'd be hard.
I
but
haven't. Although that's not a bad idea.
like if
And
you made a little sig fig, that might be kind of cool.
yeah, and I will have my brick rings with me in my brick ring case. So if you want a brick ring, you can stop by and see me at one of those events.
We should make little cards too.
Yes, but I will. Yeah, definitely. I'll be. We'll be at those places, and I will have the costume with me at least for Bricks by the Bay. And I gotta preface this by saying it takes a whole giant suitcase to carry that costume in. So there's the cost of extra bags as
That's
well
true.
to
That's
factor
true.
in. So
I think you should just save it for Bricks by the Bay.
well, that's the first place, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I do like to provoke a little bit, so maybe I will wear it.
You are not wearing the pink Mandalorian costume in the Lego house.
Oh, come on. Come on.
You know, a giant 3-story dinosaur was knocked over today when
I know. Oh, and I wanted to point out this really not common piece that I found that I'm
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
excited about. Little magic wand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
From one of the early CMFs, maybe
Mhm.
even Series 1. I'm not sure.
Did they
but
only make it the one time? I don't even know.
I think so for the magician.
Mhm.
I think that's the only time I've seen it used. I could be wrong.
That's the best
I
thing
feel
about
like-
CMF.
I feel like there was even maybe a Zatanna figure, and then there wasn't one for her. Yeah.
I wondered
Is
because
there
they've
one?
made a couple of like Friends, magicians, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And
Or maybe they have. I don't know.
I've never.
I know that
I
I
don't
haven't
have
seen
one.
it very much.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us today. Thanks to everybody
One
on the
announcement?
panel. Oh yes, and Kara has. An
I
announcement.
just wanted to remind everyone that the Tricky Lug build challenge for the month of June and the first week of July is Friends and Star Wars mashup.
Yes.
So do with that what you will.
I'm very excited to see what that's gonna turn out. I mean, I gotta say, like Brick Snaps, Martin's ones that he did for the Disney Habitat Challenge, especially the Leia and the Friends Leia with R2D2, were brilliant,
Mhm.
brilliant.
Mhm.
So
we might
yes.
get some Darth Sebastian.
Oh my God! Please, I need that in my life.
There's got to be a trans blue Darth Vader helmet somewhere.
Probably on eBay. Yeah. From all those unofficial pieces.
Right. Yep.
All right, friends. Well, we hope that you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And if you are going to any cons coming up, have a great time. Hope to see you at a couple of them towards the end of this month. We'll be back next weekend with our Pride show. But until then, don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your mask, get that vaccine, get that booster shot, get that other booster shot, and that other booster shot.
Still, right?
Still. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Happy
Bye.
Halloween.
Bye.
I can't joke about that anymore because it's just been gone on so long. It's now legacy.
Wednesday.
When was the last Wednesday?